podcast. We just got done with week 59. That was Spell Enhancement Week. We also had just gotten Sorrow, and I guess a few people might have slotted in a Kid Terrier too. I don't think so, but maybe. Um, so it was definitely an interesting arena week compared to previous ones we've had. How'd we all do? So,
I had a bit of a rough week. I did my fairly typical thing of trying to play while taking care of the kids and uh, managed to get, what was it, Baron and Great Dragon double crit by Dual Kaboom.
oof.
So I ended up, and then I lost Duel a couple other times as well
Oh
to
no.
Mam Sizzle Shot because uh, spell weak.
I think I must
Can't
have
leave her in
took
range of it.
like one or two risks this week, and one of them was probably a crit risk, like 1%, but still something. Yeah. So it was an interesting week because you could definitely use those tiles, the damage tiles, to your advantage, um, for baiting. Dole. I mean, a lot of people were probably scared to use him this week, but I pretty much used him in most of my matches. There are a few matches that I got away with just doing the bait strat, which is more something that Metazoa or Sharkai would do. I almost never run the bait strategy. I usually run the regular strategy and then have to sacrifice turn one, which I don't consider a bait strategy at all. That was you making a mistake, because the enemy wasn't quite what you predicted they would be.
Are we live?
We
Uh,
should be.
I usually get a notification. Let's see.
We should be. It says we're 20, at least on OBS,
There
it
we
says
go.
we're
Yep,
22 minutes in. I mean, sorry, 2 minutes,
yep. Yeah, we
22
are. It
seconds
just
in.
didn't give me the.
Okay, let me put in the chat here, though.
Uh,
I have to always drop in the link for the chat,
oh,
otherwise it doesn't show up on the stream.
no,
There we go.
I pulled it up.
Nothing for the chats yet, but it's all there. It looks pretty clean. And
Uh,
we got an interesting map this time. The DQT Guides Hub was not updated. As you could tell, I've probably been a bit busy with a whole bunch of things for the past few weeks, so it has not been getting updated. And I do think I need to update a few weeks in advance. Uh, Looking at this map, this is definitely not what we had up on the what we had up for week 60. If you had to take a guess, what week do you think this is? The map. What week do you think Japan had this map? If you had to take a guess.
uh, Starry Night. Are we? We think we're a bit early on our event still, right? We're like
Yep.
so, and this is tied to the current event.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll say it was like 65 or something. I don't know exactly how far off we are
Pretty
from.
close. Yeah. Um, I think we're off a little bit, but they probably didn't correct entirely. So they actually did. This is week 64.
All right.
So yeah, we could have definitely got this at a different time, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
week
that was
64.
a pleasant surprise when I saw that announcement with the Dragon Quest Monsters
Mm-hmm.
uh, news post that we were getting another one of these, essentially free resource drops.
It's kind of stress free. There's not a lot of there's no gimmick to it, for the week, which is what keeps it
Yep.
fresh for us, as guild players. But for other players not looking to experiment or have a hard time, I think this is probably refreshing for that group, and I think it's great for us too. Every now and then we'd like to see some rewards as well. So
Hey
nothing wrong
guys,
with that.
Long for Bob here, just hanging out.
Hold on, let me
Hey, Long Bob is from BDS, right?
From
long for
the
Bob.
PvPness, yes.
Puny penis. Come again?
PvPness.
Puny penis. Okay, gotcha.
PvP-ness, yes.
Right, you guys got them big penis numbers
Oh God.
for
Got
the
some asses
guild
this
score, in arena, and just really laying that penis down.
Yeah, no, we got some. Yeah, the bigger dicks won. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we heard it was a close match.
I
Like,
hear,
not
yeah,
like,
we hear is a closer 500 point difference than the 70 point difference we had for Starfall, but
yeah, we just got
no,
demolished.
and bigger fish, it's not always the case. Gorillas actually are pretty tiny, but something like a chimpanzee would be a lot bigger. So
Kage did the math. We could have made this really.
so
close.
some guilds out there don't have whales, but we're still packing heat. So
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
let's see. But this, as you can see, the aesthetic for this map, it's totally fitting in with the Dragon Quest Monsters theme, and that was one of your earliest games. I don't know if it had Terry in it, that version, but could you tell us a bit about it for the audience?
So it's kind of Pokemon-esque. You play as Terry, the young before he got all edgy version, and you can recruit monsters by going into dungeons, and they're like randomly generated types where the maps are different every time, and then you can recruit. Sometimes they'll just randomly join you. Sometimes, like if it's a boss monster, they'll always join you. And sometimes you can get them to join you by giving them meat. That's like the game's version of a Pokeball. And after you defeat them, they join you. And you can just like with the event, you can breed monsters. They call it synthesis in this event, which they might have also done in the newer one, but in the original version it was breeding. So you get a male and female and send them off on their honeymoon, and they leave an egg behind. And that's a new, stronger monster that you could eventually breed all the way up to Nocturnus, who at the time was Darkdream. And that was the most powerful monster in the game. So no human form Sorrow in that game, so he was still the best.
So when you see this map, how well did they nail it? Just the aesthetic of it for you.
I mean, it looks pretty similar to what I recall. I haven't. Metazoa's done a playthrough more recently, but that's the.
Wait, does he have a
basically the
JP
layout.
account?
It's a no, a playthrough of the old game.
Because you got to face off other
The Game
Dragon Quest monster trainers, right? You got to.
Yeah, you face off with other monster trainers, and it's kind of a layout like this, where it's just an open area with the game is 3 versus 3, so you each have three monsters on each side. So
Are you talking the next arena layout, or what are you talking about here?
Oh yeah, if you look at the stream
layout
right now on the channel, we have the arena layout ready for next week. Just it's up here for everyone to view.
Actually, unit restriction would be kind of cool. Only so many units.
Mm-hmm. Was there a unit restriction?
No, I don't think so. But just when you mentioned unit restrictions on the other game, that'd be kind of just the number of units would be interesting.
Yeah, that's just the style. Is you have 3 in a party in that game. So but yeah, it looks cool. I like the style style, showing off like you're taking part in the Starry Night tournament, which was basically like the Elite Four of that game for those who haven't played but know Pokemon references.
All right. Well, did you read any of the details for the tournament? It seems to be a normal 225 weight week.
Yeah, 225 and all the rewards. I didn't look very closely. They look to be about the same as the DQ day arena that we just had.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look closely enough to see if there were any differences or not. Bunch of gold, bunch of iris, an orb.
Same kind of thing that we just had a bit earlier here.
Yep. Just very appreciated.
But the map is way totally open, and I remember back in the day whenever we had one of these, we were just like, it's an AoE map. It's an AoE map. But now we know that something with carefully placed, pillars is even better for AoE units like KSS and whatnot. So this is an AoE map, but it's not, there's no cover to hide behind, really.
Yep.
I have to ask, Pac, what are you eating, man?
It's a burger, but it's in a ciabatta.
Oh, dude, fantastic.
Fancy.
Yeah.
Just homemade, so I don't know.
Oh, nice.
Okay. It's trying to change the thumbnail of the video as we're streaming here, so bear with me.
Where are you streaming? What platform?
OBS?
Fuck, I'm old. Sorry.
I don't know what it means either, so I think I knew at one point, but
My younger brother taught me Discord. That's where I stopped.
mm-hmm.
Go ahead, I guess.
So OBS is just the streaming software or whatever. I set up kind of the layout, and then I give the YouTube streaming key to the application, and then it will send them the feed, basically.
So you're on YouTube then? That's where the end result is?
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you type in Pac Demon DQT, it'll probably come up somewhere.
The whole "let me Google that for you" response. I appreciate it. I'll find it. Hold on.
See, okay, there we go. I got somewhat of the star as the thumbnail here. There we go. All right. I should put my face in the middle. I should put Night Pack in the middle of it. Maybe later. Okay, but yeah. I don't think there's too much to discuss other than like permutations, units that you might want to bring for something so wide. There is, there's sidelines to this area, so you can't really. It all funnels to the middle. There's walls on that, basically, on the sides. So,
Yep.
and there are, tiles behind these pillars. I mean, that you could stand on, but you probably wouldn't want to. I'll say that much. You probably wouldn't want to. So, like, to the right of Baramos and to the left of, I can't tell what unit it is, maybe Hadler. Yeah, there's a few spaces there, but mostly...
the monkey. I think it's...
it's the monkey, yeah. I'm looking at a tiny screen
monkey
on OBS of the actual feed, so...
But yeah, I don't imagine those squares will get used much. I mean, with no boost, and then Sorrow's out, so you got between Sorrow and Duel, you've got some relatively safe units for engaging with. I know Metazoa was talking about how as long as you're taking attacks that can't crit or only the last attack can crit, you can, safely with Sorrow just tank, 3-4 hits, and as long as only the last one is physical or spell, you don't even have to worry about crits because you know he's gonna survive the first time he would die. So
I'm probably going to rely heavily on CC this week. I mean, the spell damage is no longer there. So
Yep.
I was getting away with, Clarias and Vendor Ghosts and Valencia's doing even more crazy things than I usually have them do. But I don't know. This week is probably going to be more Dole and Sorrow. I would still use Sorrow. I think he can still one-shot Dolmagus with his, a One Awakened Dolmagus with no
we
sword.
see it in GVG. Like he's gonna kill him. Well, let's see these. Seb's asking if the pillars have any purpose. Keep the arena a little bit smaller, like you said. Funnel people towards the middle.
Mm-hmm. That's nice because, the AI has this bad habit of trying to walk around itself. So at least it will bunch in the middle, move forward a little bit. I have yet to see one try to veer off and hit a wall on the edges of the screen. So, looking forward to a lot less being pranked by the AI.
Yeah, like you can reach all the squares with the standard 6 range units. Yeah, so pretty unremarkable map, and it's just that 225 weight, so keep that in mind.
It's going to be hard, but people are still going to try to fit in the Sorrow. And I think he pairs really well with Red Robin Hood.
All right, I see the stream now. So it's just
What's up,
funneled up the
Insane?
middle. 'Cause only pillars are like off there to the right and left, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's going to be all area of attack right there in the middle.
Let's read the comments. Sup? What's up, guys? Welcome. 225 weeks suck. Close match. Open broadcasting software. That's what it is. These pillars are weird. Do they have any purpose? True. Hi, guys. Wish we had QS already. KSS QS. Oh, yeah. It might be nice. Like, KSS is nice to hide behind a pillar. But if he hides behind a pillar, then Queen Slime can't hide behind that pillar. But if you're going to rush the enemy anyways, you might as well jump both slimes in and, they're not really interfering with each other that much. So it would work out for something like this. I'm excited for Queen Slime Bloom, but also not excited because mine's isn't maxed awake, like my KSS is. So I don't know.
I just got my first Queen Slime during my Sorrow pulls.
Oh.
It was one of my 5 non-guaranteed S ranks.
You can guarantee that they're still going to be powerful, even when all those new units come out. Like, Halberd fell off very quick. I think these guys are still Halberd Bloom level. No, not Halberd. Great Dragon Bloom level when Great Dragon Bloom first hit. That's how I feel about KSS and at least in Arena and Queen Slime here. I think that's how powerful it is with inflation. if you adjust for it. Sorry, power creep. Dead units can't hurt the slimes anyway. -4 awake, but I would be happy to use her on arena. It's 4 awake, so why wouldn't you be? That's that's like a subtle flex right there for me, at least. So what permutations we're looking at? It's basically the same thing we just had, yeah? You could have
Yep.
Sorrow and 2 S's, 2 A's, is that it? Or was it... Let me see.
That wouldn't fit.
That wouldn't fit. So 3 A's, 1 S, 1 Sorrow.
Yes. A and Sorrow gets up to 100 weight, and then you could have 2 S's and a B rank. Now that we've got Damselfly as another B rank option, you could have a hero and a Dark Lord again, getting you right to 225. So if you're one of those people who have pulled heavy on Noct and Sorrow, you could go Noct, Sorrow, Red Hood, and some hero. That would get you to 225 with a really strong Dark Lord physical. Sorrow, 3S, and Heal Slime. Yep. 45, so Sharkai can run 3 heroes, an A rank hero, and Heal Slime. Any input about Hybrid Blossom?
Oh, yeah.
Pack has more experience with it than me, since he used it a bunch doing his end of event stream. So I'll defer to him on that.
So basically, my goal with the Mega Boss battle is I needed a unit that could one-shot whatever HP that the Ethereal Serpents had at each stage, right? So at first, I was just using Hybrid. And it was working out very good because, his damage stacks like crazy. And then he has this... his leadership is really good for... it was Sorrow and Red Robin Hood. Because they both scale off of Frizz, so it was just perfect. Whereas Great Dragon running leadership wasn't very good. But eventually I kind of had to make a switch. Somewhere along the way, I think. Because I could give leadership to Great Dragon. And Great Dragon would have the stronger initial hit. It was weird. When you were hitting the Mega Boss battle, it treated it just like a Kablunt or a Kasap or something, right? It treated it as if the effect was one tile. So you didn't land multiple hits. You didn't get 3 stacks on yourself for hitting the Mega Boss. In this case, there's 2 Mega Bosses. So if you did split between the 2, you'd get the breath potency stacks together. Oh, shoot. We got a very possibly drunk and fat and happy Trop on the other end of the call here. That could be scary. Or maybe he's a happy kind of drunk, like my grandpa was.
Well, if you need a drunk on the call, Pack, you're already good to go.
Hey, that's pretty good. All right. But yeah, so with the hybrid, I was able to manipulate it to a certain degree, and to the point that I kind of had to switch for Great Dragon leadership, and eventually that didn't work either. Like, eventually the Great Dragon, even with leadership, like, because I was using him without leadership, then I was using him with leadership. Eventually, I couldn't one-shot the Ethereal Serpents with the crack, so I had to switch to Zoma, surprisingly. And at a certain point, I wouldn't even give Zoma leadership because I'd brought Terry, and he'd at least get one stack of the potency from Terry. So I got away with murder, guys. I basically used Zoma towards the end of my run. And I don't know, it was a 2 attempt clear or a 3 attempt clear on floor 20. I know for 18 and maybe 19, it was definitely 2 attempts. But I don't know about 20. I can't remember. I haven't slept since then, so I all of it's just a blur, guys. You have to understand. And the previous night, I tried streaming Phil's new game. That's Nibs, by the way, if you're more familiar with him by that name. I was trying to stream Phil's game, but I was half asleep playing that one, and I couldn't. And Kage was on the other end of the call, just talking. Like, I was trying to voice act some of the lines, and I couldn't get into it. I just couldn't, because the guy was commenting every 2 seconds, and I was just trolling them at that point. I was going super slow. But yeah, I had to private that one. That one didn't turn out so well. But yeah, all that's a blur since then and now. But I do remember that I was using hybrid, and he was fairly effective with the leadership. I do recall enjoying using him more than Red Robin Hood, because Red Robin Hood would boost the bosses. And the bosses could kill you. So it was like, it was kind of, it was hard using him. I got away with using him on 15 though, but I wasn't using Red Robin Hood on the final stages. It was Hybrid, it was Zoma, and it was Sorrow. Units like that, I think. But eventually, yeah, Hybrid I couldn't use because he couldn't one-shot his Ethereal Serpent. So there is limitations.
Pag, I got a question for you. If you got a minute.
Yeah.
And this is kind of a, I didn't take Arena very seriously up until Guilds, right? So when do you decide, or like what kind of strategy do you do if you're going to go with 4 into a battle versus the full 5, taking like a D or a whatever character?
4-man teams can oftentimes just be stronger than the 5-man teams. They're solid and condensed.
Found, right? Like it's super easy just to load up your...
I think he's talking about specifically sacrificing weight.
Sacrificing,
like not bringing a weaker character. Right? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, like I don't know, you can get really nerdy about it, right? And really plan out that battle, but it's just, I always have the inclination just to take the heaviest hitters, which means 4 people in my party, right? So, like, have you guys ever actually decided to take 5 and like try to really balance that with an A and a lesser character?
I've chose Red Robin Hood over S ranks all the time. So I've ran like 220 weight on 240 weight weeks. Like it was nothing. Yeah. And people in my chat were like, "Why, dude, what are you doing? Throw in an S. You have extra weight." And I was like, "I don't need it." Like Red Robin Hood is he has an AoE, effectively A rank ability. Like he doesn't need any sort of boost or whatever.
Yeah. So there's not really rarely is there a strong case for trying to get fancy about it and try to bring in like a heal slime, for example, with your attack team.
I mean,
Sharkai does it.
Bringing in heal slime with attack team for that wartime war heal.
I don't see a lot of value. Well. I think it's dangerous. I don't see too much value in it. I know he likes to use it, but I feel like if he just took that weight and put in a stronger unit, like if he switched out one of his heroes for a Dark Lord or something, I think he'd get more mileage out of it than just bringing a heal slime. But that's my opinion.
That's my fear, and why I never really consider it, which is why I was curious, I guess.
I would usually advise against it. Now, I could be biased because I don't usually run that comp. I mean, I have in the past. I mean, we all did the mid-heal ghost way back when, but no one.
I feel like I put mid heal on Ghost just because everybody on Reddit said to do it, and I never actually used it.
It was really dumb. We didn't know what we were doing back then.
Yeah, but
We were just taking the advice of JP, and it was all stupid.
But like, okay, I'm gonna take I don't know, you're bailing out on an S or a hero or something just to get that other character in. I don't know. It never seemed to make sense.
We never really had that many options back then. I mean, a unit like, what was it? Umbra was amazing because it had a lot of HP, a lot of agility, great wisdom, and it could tank Zoma Glacial Doom, so you could literally bait Zoma. Not a lot of units could do that. So back in the day, we used these awkward solutions to solve the problems because there was no perfect solution back then. Now we have such a big toolbox, you could practically do anything. It's like your Batman.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't think bringing in the C and below weights is often good. The one time if you have confuse on a low weight unit, then that can work, but it's difficult unless you use a confused scroll on, like, say, Ghost or something, or you have to be really careful. There's the E rank lump mage that has Fuddle, but he's only a 2-move unit and he's an E rank, so getting him in position to confuse something is can be tricky depending on how the enemy's laid out.
Part of it is just like HP, agility, like C and belows. You usually, it's like pick one. They could have high HP, like Man of War or something, but they might not be fast. Or you could have the Cub. Cub has a lot of attack power. It could put out high damage, but it lacks range. Despite having 4 move, it lacks range because its attack is just one range. So, and he's slow. So you have to build him for agility so he doesn't miss. You build him for agility, he could die. And I was always pointing that out to people way back when. The last and final time for me that he shined in Arena, other than like C and below weeks, or occasionally A and below weeks, was the Beast week. That was my first place, and I had him on my team the whole week. Practically, I think I did.
That's kind of why I asked.
But I built him with agility. I was towing the line of danger. He could have got one shot anytime, practically.
Fast back in the day, so I'm not quite a day one player, but
sorry, it was a different game back then. We were doing weird things because there's
and there's this,
it was hard to get a 2-turn win, so you had to improvise.
There's this series of players that have been playing for that long who never really took Arena seriously. So there's some basic questions like
dropped his
rank into an offensive battle,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really, in general, it just boils down to team comp. There's now with duel, there's a lot of matches that are significantly different depending on if you have duel or not. Because if you're up against a team with 1 or 0 units that can threaten duel, you can really safely engage and not have to worry about all things you had to worry about pre-duel. If you're up against units like duel and Alina, it really changes what units you're bringing, because you can't hit them reliably or at all, depending on which one, with your
Keep them out of
physical and
range and then
martial
playing
units.
probably 2 or 3 moves ahead, right?
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of knowing the AI helps a lot. I think it was going back. It was interesting to see
Even the most seasoned player is
when we
vulnerable
had
to that.
the double arena week.
Like, not knowing the AI, you could screw over like the best player.
Yeah, and sometimes there's still times when we
We're losing you.
99% of the time.
I thought that was me. Yeah, man, you're dropping out a little bit.
We'll try reconnecting.
Okay. But yeah, even the most seasoned player, like the top player, is vulnerable to AI if they don't know how it operates in the game.
Oh yeah, no, we got a link posted on our guild private channel there. I gotta
If
read
you
that
if you don't do a few practice matches here and there, and there's new things introduced into the game, you will fall behind. And you won't even realize it. Maybe you fell behind a long time ago and they released a second unit that was similar to the first unit. And you're like, this is the first time I ever experienced this. Meanwhile, other people already tested it with a different unit way back when.
Absolutely. And then the Guild really brought like a new dimension because none of us are focusing on putting defensive teams out when we play Arena, right?
Do we? Don't we?
Stuff. Well,
who knows?
I'm well,
we gotta play the game, man. We gotta, there's a way.
Point. That's a fair point. I'll do my part.
Yeah. It's GVG is definitely a different beast than regular Arena. Of course, there's the obvious one of facing teams designed for defense rather than someone else's offense team. But also for the higher level Arena, like even this week and fairly often, any point loss drops you out of the gold trophy. And it's perfect or silver. And the GVG kind of takes a step back from that, where most matches, if you're against a guild where you're on similar levels, there's a lot of focus on doing using our trademarked digital communism strategy. You want to be as safe as possible while getting as much points as possible. Because in a regular Arena week, if there's a chance, like, hey, if I do this, I take a risk, I take a crit risk, but I can stay perfect if I don't get crit. But if I don't take that crit risk and I take an extra turn, that you're going to take that crit risk in regular Arena, because the difference between perfect and -4 is gold to silver, whereas the difference between -4 and -8 is silver to silver. There's no difference between taking an extra turn and losing a unit in regular Arena.
Absolutely.
Basically, we play in between the margins,
Yeah, in GVG you can afford to sacrifice those 5 points to more safely finish the match. There's no need to take that risk. So I find that an interesting contrast, where especially for players like me, where I'm not perfect every single match, but I'm really safe. I'm really good at doing well, but not necessarily perfecting. And GVG matches my playstyle in that manner.
That's kind of a focus for people who are more GVG, because a lot more people are now because we're having guild tournaments, right? And it's just a different way of thinking about it. And this week I hit my first gold trophy, and I don't know if I want to do that grind again, because you're just picking the weakest possible party. You're rolling for bots. Like, there's a way to kind of cheat the system to do a gold, but if you're actually practicing and trying to get better for guild versus guild, you should probably be trying to hit the hardest people,
I think one of our members in our guild could learn from that lesson right there. They should try aiming for the hardest teams rather than the easy ones.
Because what are the guild benefits or the arena benefits now? We got in units. There's nothing really to go for. I mean,
yeah, right now, if you're a day one, month one player, you've got the arena shop bought out. You're just stacking up at this point. Maybe you're doing Rainbow Alchemy if you're pack. But yeah, there's nothing really. We do know that there's going to be a new S rank equipment in an axe designed for Halberd with his bloom, but also would work on a Dread Dragon with his bloom. And some more alchemy stones, like S rank axe alchemy stones to be paired with that new axe, and some more A rank totally stones as well.
But, like, try.
Yep, and of course you can always practice. I often practiced in the regular arena. Once you finish your points matches, you can just go out and search out the whales. I did practice when I was preparing for Rapthorn on our match against Starfall. Actually, I think it was actually the match before Starfall. Did some practice against Rapthorn. There was one the enemy guild, and I hadn't really faced them. So I went into regular arena after my matches were done, and I faced some Rapthorns and figured out a strategy there.
That's some dedication, man, to keep re-rolling just to get Rapthorn so you can practice. That's painful.
It's a good tool to have for facing those units you haven't seen before, or if you're trying to fine-tune your numbers. It's better than it's if you're looking practicing in guild. I might be cutting out again. I see my thing went red. But practicing in the guild tournament is that's a risky proposition for anyone not in PvP nest, where you can just randomly charge ahead and see what happens.
That is our strat. You got us.
I do believe Kage does mean to trim some of the fat.
Trim some of the fat in the guilds?
Yep. No, he didn't say that?
No, I did not.
That's
up to the fearless leader, man.
It's up to Kage if he wants to make cuts for people, for I think he because he tried to go the other route, right? He tried to go the 19-man team route. That didn't work out too well.
No, yeah, that didn't work out. And I was kind of suspect because having an app development background.
You cut out there.
Like, what are they going to do with 19 people? And I thought they would really auto-register a team because they have that logic, right? They could auto-register a defensive team. But no, it's just, it's 19v20.
Starfall has to face somebody, they're not going to be on equal terms usually with most guilds that they face off. I think there's pretty much exclusively just one other guild that's on that tier.
It's it's an east versus west kind of
It
kind of
is
thing. Like,
a little
y'all
bit on a
content
micro
creators,
scale.
man.
I
You
mean,
guys,
if Korea cared, if Korea actually cared, they would blow us out of the water. Just like
well, I'm
League
sure
of
y'all
Legends
put
or
together the All
something.
Stars and just go up against Starfall.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun. That'd be a lot of fun.
JM was joking around, and we don't want this to happen, but JM was joking around that if anyone got kicked, it would be him, and he's been a lot of fun. So, hopefully that doesn't actually happen.
We're
He
so
did
early in the guild stuff, man. Just it's early. We gotta figure out what the stakes are, and I don't know what's
figure
going
out
on. Pete? What do you
between the
think, man?
guild what you guys want to do, where your goals are, where you want to reach.
Yeah, exactly. Like Kage made PvP
19 man
necessary.
doesn't work, so you guys got to put your feet to the ground and maybe tackle it, head on if you want it,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
cut
yeah,
off
yeah.
people a
That's
lot
fine.
when they talk, by the way. It's, it's a streaming thing.
No
There's a
problem.
delay and sorry.
No, you're good, man. No, you're right. It's
Koreans
we're
are no
what
longer
two
dominating in
months.
League?
What was that?
Someone threw a YouTube chat. I haven't played League of Legends in like 6, 7. I don't even know how many years it's been now. But someone typed in Koreans are no longer dominating in League. Oh wow, I had no idea. Did they just move on to a different game or something? Like for the longest time, I think China bought out. Was it Riot Games? So they own it or something. But for the longest time, it was just Koreans. I guess maybe after Riot bought it out, maybe you know what they could have done? Cause a whole bunch of ping or something for the Korean servers and just make it a little sharper for the Chinese ones. That would be funny.
That's how old I am. What wasn't South Korea good with StarCraft?
Oh yeah. Oh
Like
yeah, for
it
sure.
was like baseball practically.
Oh yeah. They would destroy that game. Starfall 2. Yeah, for sure. Chinese people just got better. They also have a bigger population size. I just think that the Koreans, it's quality over quantity. But if you have a big enough quantity, you could find quality amongst the quantity. It's the
There's
same
probably
problem
some,
Armenians
yeah.
have. We're really good at kickboxing, like wrestling and weightlifting, uh, like within a weight category. Obviously, Armenians aren't huge, but for their weight, they could pull a lot of weights. So we win a lot of Olympic gold medals in those categories for a country with a population size of 3 million. But up against a country like Turkey or somewhere else where it's like 90 million or 100 million, it has a hard time competing. Even though per capita they produce more, gold medalists. For
I was gonna say, like, you want to bring like socioeconomics into this, because like China with an increasing middle class, meaning more people with access to
oh yeah,
computers.
go ahead, because I want to know what's going on. I'm
Well,
kind of
I'm
curious.
just I'm shooting up the hip here, man. I'm not an expert, but I mean, you got to figure growing middle class, more people access with computers, more free time, population wise. Yeah, you're gonna see a giant surge from that area for any given game. But it was the
Sorry,
same for
guys.
Clash of Clans. Anytime we got matched against a Chinese like clan, it was just yeah, we're done. Do what we can do. They got the numbers.
Yeah. There we go.
All right, guys. Well, have a good day. Sorry, Pack, for dive bombing your stream here.
No, I mean it's either you or Kage, and
Well, am I gentler than Kage, or am I?
everyone's gentler than Kage.
Okay, well, I'll share that with him. Let him know that I'm a gentle lover.
All right. No, we love Kage. We have our back and forths with him. It's fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know what I'm doing here in this guild. We'll find out. I love you, Kage. Bye.
See ya.
Let's see. Yeah, that helps. The hell did I walk into? China Home ownership is about 80%. Oof. Pack has entered hallucination level of no sleep. Oh God. Who's talking about Clash of... Was I hallucinating? I may have been. I don't know. Hello, Trop. Hello, Trop. Okay, it's okay. There was a time in the stream too. He dipped out for a half second, then dipped back in, and then it was very close in the beginning. He unmuted himself, then he kept himself muted pretty much the whole way through. But I expect he's just shit-faced. The only question I have for a Romanian is wine or beer. Okay, that's both. I think that's both. I don't know if we'll hear anything comprehensive out of Trop for a while, much less me. But yeah. What are the? He left. He left after I said that. Oh, he's back. You have the mute on. The mute. I could see it. It's right here. Your mute is on. Whatever. I wonder if he was talking this whole time. You guys, I'm good. I didn't feel like doing the test matches this week, but I usually do. I promise. I know exactly how the AI works. Exactly how it works. It's just this time I forgot. I forgot to test it. Don't kick me, please. I'm not kidding. Do the roar. What is the roar? That's the second or third time you've said that. What is the roar? What's the TLDR on this week's arena? It's a funnel. Everything goes in the middle. You could run a 4-man team if you want. Is a 4-man team better? Probably. I don't know. What would you say, Celery? Like trying to fit everything into it is 5 tiles wide, the middle, but I don't think you're going to be standing on all 5 tiles probably, right? So a 4-man team with decent AoE, hard hitting, possibly CC, you never know, could work out a lot better here. Units like Red Robin Hood are going to be monsters, especially paired with, say, a Nocturnus leadership or a Sorrow leadership should be very well. I've found Sorrow's leadership works pretty well with Red Robin Hood. Okay, Aces is saying 65, 60, 50, 50. That's what he's going with. Of course, I don't tend to run heroes in Arena, so I don't know what that would be. Maybe Kid Terry. Give everyone else a boost. I don't think the lanes are so narrow that you want to run 3 damaging units and then 1 booster. Seb says 65, 350s, and 110. Maybe. It's narrow enough, and maybe you could just run a Leary Lout. It's a nice distraction. You could throw a bunch of HP on him, maybe, and run him up. I would still use Leary over Slime, but that's just me. The heal Slime. Santa Elena is bait. Santa Elena would be fire here. Absolutely. Yeah, so for me, it would probably be like 65, 50, 35, 35, 35, 35. So I'd run like 35, 35, 35. Yeah, 220 weight. The other option, for me could be like 350s. Is it 350s? And then 235s?
Yep.
Yeah. So that would be my other option. I would love to bring Hybrid this week. That wouldn't be a problem to me at all. AoE seems fine on this map. And if I need Frizz, I could use Frizz. Sure, it's not as strong as Great Dragon is on turn 1. But it could work. And if the right tool for the right job is the right tool for the right job, who are we to question that? All right. So here's Shark Eye. Maybe he could tell us a little bit about the heel slime, because I am not a fan, but I do want to give credence to other people who are a fan of the, was it 60 weight teams, the 60 weight units with heel slime. So looks like Shark Eye mentioned it's 60, 60, 60, 35, and 10. Heel slime is tank and can oomph. He can't oomph. He can only party boost with a heel. It's only one stage. And he's slower, so it doesn't happen before they attack, just after. Maybe turn 2 you get the boost. It is. That's it. Same thing. Well, he is a tank. How tanky does your heel slime get? I think Pop and Mom, yeah, you do run the bait A units like Mom. I did use her like once or twice this week, and it worked out. But most weeks I usually don't. For an E rank, that's the best thing you can expect. 900 HP for Sebastian's, 850 or so for Shark Eye, or 900. He doesn't know. How much HP do you guys get out of your Leary Louts? 700, 800? 1,000?
That's like 800 outside of arena. So.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's a tank.
Well over 1,000.
Yeah, if we ever get a cover tank that an E rank cover tank with selflessness instead of cover, that would be amazing. Or if we ever get the passive that Forest Dragon and Sir Rosegarten have for covering automatically at the start of action. But instead of cover, it is selflessness 2 stack.
It's
start of turn?
Yeah.
It's start of turn, okay. So if we could get that, but with 2 stacks instead of 1, so it's full selflessness on turn 1, that would be amazing. So for me, that delta blow to me as about as hard as, let's say, seeing, how do I phrase? Nera's Bloom. Nera's Bloom had a really great ability, blowback. It had the potential to give us a mage that could kite in the game. Like, you kite in just about any video game there is. You could kite a bunch of
RTS or
yeah, exactly, or a MOBA game, or technically even like a zombie shooter game, right? You could run backwards and shoot zombies, just get them into little hordes and kite them and shoot them. So yeah, it could have potentially, in a kind of, in a sense, it could have been our first kiting kind of mechanic. Sure, it is, there's a turn order for these units, but you would still be able to kite within your action within the turn. So that would have been really cool. But the range on the ability is not good enough. So if she had 3 movement and she could jump back after her attack, that would be amazing. Or if she had 2 movement but had 4 range, that would have been insane. So she's in this middle area where she's not good, right? And if they gave her 1 more range, she would have been broken. And there's like nothing, there's no in between, because it's digital, right? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You don't have it's all whole numbers, right? There's no 3.5. There's 4 is broken. 3 doesn't do anything. So it was almost felt like that blow, not quite. But when I saw that Forest Dragon was just 1 stack of cover, when I saw Sir Rosegarten, I don't know how to say his name. Garden. When I saw his was only 1 stack of cover, it wasn't that bad of a blow, as bad as Nera's, but that's kind of how it felt for me. Let's see, Kid Terry. Oh, looks like what's boosted this week anyway? Kid Terry, no boost. He's boosted by the aesthetic theme, and I believe you said Sorrow is also involved in Dragon Quest monsters somehow. Who's the strongest monster? Nocturnus. Nocturnus is the strongest.
Yeah, Nocturnus.
Okay.
But
do you expect we'll see a lot of Nocturnus this week? Or if people moved on to their new favorite broken unit, supposedly?
I expect people to run them together. I expect people are going to be running Sorrow or Nocturnus as leader, and then the other one, and then Elena, and then some 50 weight.
I can't understand why people
Probably
run
dual,
Elena.
But they love Nocturnus and Elena.
They love those big numbers. They see Elena, the big numbers, and there's endorphins going off in their head thinking that something amazing happened when nothing really happened of consequence. It's like you make the cut. You can't kill him deader than dead in the game. If you made the cut, you made the cut. You don't get to put it away in your pocket and save it for a rainy day. It's a digital. It's a game. It's not the analog real world. That's why the digital communism strategy trademark is approved for games like this. We full-heartedly. I'm too tired to phrase this. We wholeheartedly stand by that message. You know, the digital communism strategy, trademarked by Arena Watch. Let's see. Will forever run my crit axe on Elena Beck. If that gives you high endorphins, go for it, Sharkai. Who am I to tell you what to do? Except on Guild v Guild. You run that on Guild v Guild, you're dead to me now. Okay, I'm joking. Don't rain on my crit parade. They stack the 2 now. That's nice. Yeah, the only thing different about this week is that we have Sorrow on a map shaped like this. We have not had Sorrow on a map shaped like this. And that's the only difference. And it looks nice. And it really does. Whoever did the design for it did a stellar job, and it makes the other arena designs look kind of boring in comparison. But, you know, it was a special thing, and they just wanted to incorporate that, I guess.
Yep. Very, very cool design choice.
Yep. Anything you wanted to add for this week, Celery? Oh, question. Do you prefer, if you have these 3 as a core, I'm going to say the units are Nocturnus, Sorrow, and Red Robin Hood. Whose leadership do you prefer?
Depends on the 4th one. I think if you're running your 4th one as another physical, then Sorrow probably gets the edge. If you're running a non-physical, then I think Nocturnus, that boosting extra boost on himself, and Hood, in addition to boosting Discontinuum, is a real strong combination.
All right, well, you heard it here first, folks. Do we get an orb, or do we get all the other rewards too? I believe each promotion category will give you a reward. I believe so. I could open it up on my phone because I was just looking at the JP video. Like because I saw the weight and I was like 225. There's no bonus, and I was looking at it and I was like, shit, need to find the map. I went through week 60. I went through week 61, 62, 63. And then I found week 64 and I was like, oh shoot, JP week 64 is our week 60 now. My job got a lot harder. I don't know how I'm going to organize this now, honestly. I begged Malcolm. Like, I don't think anyone complained. I didn't hear any complaints when they ran Auto Week at the same time as whatever other week they had. I don't know what the other bonus was. Maybe it was a standard week for the other thing. I have no idea. I can't recall.
Auto Week was the same as Hero Week.
Hero Week. There you go. So I couldn't recall that, but I don't hear anybody complaining about that. A lot of people don't run heroes, right? And probably would have got upset, every time a Hero Week comes around, And other people, if would get upset if a Hero Week came around because the human faces, and apparently there's enough people in the community that hate human faces. They're not watching this podcast because this right here apparently scares them away. So we're safe to talk about this here. We're in a safe zone here, guys. Don't worry. No one's going to attack you or us. I can assure you that. But that was seriously actually a thing on Reddit. You never know why people dislike a thing. Like, it's sometimes so absurd and just so arbitrary. But yeah. So, what was I saying? I was so tired. I was saying something about I lost the idea, the train of thought. Do you remember what I was saying just like a few seconds ago? Perhaps.
Something about doing double arena weeks.
Yeah, exactly. So Malcolm, I offered him that suggestion because no one got upset about it the first time around, and the first time around, that's how they did it on JP. So it wasn't any different. But if you look at this, and it doesn't take much to code. I know it doesn't take much to code because I've seen them actually put the weeks, rather than being week 64 in the place of week 60, I've seen a 40 and 39 swap, basically, right? And the newer arena is usually on the right side, and the older one is on the left. But it was a weird thing. They changed the numbers on them, but the 49 was on this side and the 50 was on this side. You know what I mean? Or did I say 39 and 40? So they never actually moved them. They just changed the names. And that's the thing. They could literally put these guild arenas side by side and they just move them over like this, basically. And they could, they could have them running concurrently. It doesn't matter. They could adjust that, and they already do. So they might as well just have them running at the same time. It would fix a lot of issues. At a certain point, you're going to have to either permanently drop a few of the weeks or just run them concurrently. Concurrently, I don't know what the word is proper when you say concurrently and when you say concurrently. Can you guys tell I'm tired? Can you tell I'm tired?
Yeah.
But yeah, so shout outs to Malcolm. Everybody at Malcolm, and say why can't we have Auto Week? Not Auto Week, but what we had for Auto Week. Why can't we have, if everything's going to rush along, why can't we get 2 arenas at the same time? What's the worst that could happen? If you don't like one mode, you like the other. So, heck, you could do a very difficult week paired up with like a nice week like this with no bonuses and a whole bunch of rewards and just pair them together. The good one, in their eyes, will offset the bad. And for me, it would be the other way around because I like the rewards, but I like the challenge of, a difficult week as well. So, best of both worlds there. Just, balls in your court, Malcolm. Aiming. Square, whichever one has the final say. Take it up with the higher ups, man. Trust me. I'm an arena player that loves arena, and I can't. There are certain people that will never love DQT arena. It's competitive by nature. Some people will just not like it. And I didn't hear anybody complaining about the auto week, just about. I mean, there was a few here and there, but it was like that's hard to come by. So believe me when I say no one's going to be upset about it. Like just about nobody's going to be upset about it. And that would solve the whole timing issue, because eventually you're going to have to drop something. Something's going to not make the cut at this point. 4 weeks? We've never had, not 4 weeks, that's technically 5, right? 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. 5 weeks. You swap those around. That's insane. We've never had that level before. I had to go sleuthing for like, I don't know, I was going through my phone for like a good 15 minutes, like scrambling trying to find this thing before starting up the podcast. So yeah, I don't know. I would say definitely everybody at Malcolm, timestamp, take it to where I started this part of the conversation. Get him to listen to it, because believe me, I don't think there will be any complaints here. What do you think, Celery? I'll take that as a resounding yes. We heard a lot of mechanical sound, but I heard all for it. So, you heard it here first, folks. Oh, he dropped and he's about to come back in, but we'll see. I think we'll probably wrap up here with Celery when he hops in here. If you guys have any last minute chats you want me to get to, go ahead and say something. Poor Malcolm. Think of Pack. Oh, hold on. Let me go back. Do we just get an orb? Okay, so there's other rewards, trust me. I think it's roughly the same as what we had. Can try to sleep again. A lot of people haven't noticed it was an auto week. They always auto in arena. Auto week. Yeah. Never mind. They were talking about the auto week. It was interesting, I remember. Are you winning, son? Lol. Going to have to bath by. Seanock. Think of Pack. Poor Malcolm. Poor Malcolm. Okay. Poor us. We're going to lose some nice, already pre-programmed. They just got to translate, port it over to us. I don't know how it actually works, but I'm just guessing here. Anyway, is there anything worth noting that we haven't yet covered?
Nope.
I have one thing to note. If your name is Trop, you got to test out some arena matches, maybe against a Sorrow or Dragonoid with your Dolmagus.
Yeah, Trop's on remedial lessons this week.
All right.
Yeah. Get prepared for the next 2 matches of qualifiers. Nothing, a day off today for Guild v Guild, but then last 2 matches of qualifiers coming up, and then the 3 days of the turn. So, Star's counter is basically nothing. Like paralysis plus damage multi-hit. Like,
multi-hit, yeah, that is true.
You just gotta practice, find something that works.
I almost feel happier that the resist death is at the end rather than at the beginning, like Rapthorns is. I don't know why. It doesn't really make a difference, does it? It's like, do you put the peanut butter on top or the jelly? The result's basically the same. But I almost like hitting Sorrow to death more than I do Rapthorn. I find it easier. I don't know why I would think it's easier, but I do find it easier to take out the Sorrow than I do Rapthorn. It's probably because I like rushing with the damage and then finishing with the cleave, right? Whereas if you get that strong hit in the beginning, you know, with a very tough unit, you know, your KSS hops in and Rapthorn negates all that damage, you're kind of screwed. Whereas with Sorrow, almost none of it's wasted, right? And just towards the end, which it's easier to time the end better than the beginning, I feel like. Maybe I'm crazy. Yeah, you could try Boreal. He lacks damage, but you have to build him with what? Agility, just so he outspeeds your KSS? It's not easy. Oh yeah, you could use Rapthorn to take out Rapthorn. Anyways, guys, this has been the pack, and if you want to join the pack with the pack, go ahead and subscribe down below. If you like this video, then like this video. If you have something to say, write down in the comments down below. If you want to support the Arena Watch podcast, go ahead and share. If you want to see more Arena Watch podcasts, hit that bell icon for notifications, guys. The same Twitch. Join Kage's gaming Discord server for all the best underground DQT conversations, and join my server for all the best DQT guides. Anyways, guys, this has been the pack. Signing out. Peace.
Peace.